part of life that makes it all funny is that, is it possible to be blinded by emotions and rage and sensationalism? Yeah, it is. It is very possible for you to be blinded by sensationalism and emotions. We are all guilty. We're all guilty. Some of us are trying to make some logical steps, understanding, so that way we can grow past just getting involved with a cause or emotion just because of emotions and how we feel and stuff like that. I know I said the same thing, like whatever. I'm just rambling, but thank you for tuning in still. Anyway, just let's understand principles, logic, and causes, not just effects. You see, a lot of times people join parties left and right. They join parties because of effects, like their current effects. We are all living in a grand spectrum of cause and effect. If you think about it, something happened before your lifetime, a cause, and the effect, your lifetime, and how you play out your life now. It's a real, it's something to pay attention to. Police violence, over and over and over again. And I was warning police about this years ago. I warned police about this, my police friends about this years ago. I said, you can't keep doing these kind of things and turning a blind eye and not exposing it, because eventually it's going to be a breaking point, and they're going to use that breaking point to control more of the masses, control more with more, unconstitutional laws. So you got to get a hold of it. And you know what? Whether you believe some of these murders are real or some of these murders are fake, regardless, the media has had the ammunition to put it in front of your face to get you to react. And so now you're stuck on reaction. Next thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing. Until what? Until you get the UN? Not everybody wants that. We can take care of our own backyard, Plus, majority of UN fighting forces was American. So good luck on that one too. But I just say that to you because we can work this out if we all understand our Constitution. And so you could be like, oh, that was made by some white men who owned slaves. You know what? For sure. Yeah. And you know what else too? You can condemn the author of what they did, but what about the piece they made, Like, they made that piece still for all people to be, and then they still changed things as time went on, because they knew that shit was wrong. And so it's what we have that keeps us on equal standing. If I want you not to have rights, or if I want, say you're on the other side of things, opposite side of a militia, and you don't want them to have guns anymore, well, guess what? That means it gets harder for you to have guns. You understand what I'm saying? And say you want to be on the side of the militia, and you say, well, Antifa or Black Lives Matter people shouldn't have guns anymore, or NFAC shouldn't have guns anymore. Well, then that makes it harder for you to have guns too. Try to understand how people, media, and things are being played against each other, and you'll see that you're falling victim to a big old trap of saying, yeah, take their rights away. That means you lose rights too. And the last time I checked, my position as a constitutionalist, my position as a militiaman, is to make sure everybody had their rights and never condemning anybody for having their rights. And I laugh at these people who, again, laugh at the NFAC. Yeah, they screwed up, whatever, discharge. Yeah, the guys are paid actor, probably, sure, too. But you know what else is funny is that they did it, and they showed you the expression of constitutional rights. Applaud them, Nobody here is against any protest. We only stand firm against riots and against violence, not protests. Peaceful protests are invited. I would love to, do health and wellness checks for these protests that go on for long periods of time, that are just protests, that are not going to be riots, that are not going to be excuses to be violent with a stranger or another person who is opposition. and you have a problem with the opposition, then you have a time and place for that. You know. And let me say this too, because a lot of people don't understand their history. That a lot of things in our war history, Civil War history especially, started with protest. Okay, and so you understand that being led to protest is an act of, can be pushed into a riot or armed conflict easily. I mean, real easily, if people are riled up enough. So you gotta understand what you mean by peaceful protest. Peaceful protest, y'all. Let's have them. We encourage them. Let's change, let's reform what our police really make. Let's do some police reform, and let's change this thing, man. Make it so that way we can all live. Why not?